and has always been, which is, in the arena of time, attention. So time and attention, focused attention, equals either value or potential value. What's up to the YouTube live stream? I'm doing a TikTok video. And so, when you kind of understand that basic equation, then you get to look with your eyes, differently. You get to view things differently. So now the television becomes something entirely different, or a podcast, or a dating app, because those are, you're paying with your attention. This is not a new concept, obviously, but if you can look at it as with each second that goes by, you're literally, paying with your time, your focused energy, your attention. And so for that, I thank you, by the way. Thank you to the viewers, because you're literally investing in me and you're paying towards me by watching this content. So, something to keep in mind. It's interesting, thought experiment, way of looking at things. I've been thinking a lot about, I don't want to say the algorithms because it's not true, but in some ways, yeah, but more so, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and all that stuff. And, and being a content creator myself, trying to work towards the goals of monetizing, YouTube content. Of course, on TikTok, there's a goal to reach a certain amount of viewers to be able to go live stream. Simple questions like how much is a like worth? Using YouTube, let's say, as the structured, agreed upon paradigm. How much is a subscriber worth? How much is a view worth? Things like that are some of the thoughts that I've been kicking around lately.
What's up, guys? And they're going to say the only way to sort.
And so, likewise, what you're paying into, and again, these aren't new concepts, but what are you paying for? Are you paying to be spooked? Are you paying to be scared? Are you paying to have your energy dampened or lowered? It's something to be mindful of. It's something that we're not taught, in regards to, the dynamics of value and economy and all that stuff. So, just some interesting things to think about. And obviously you have the kind of concepts of like, profit or value, variable P or V, or potential value, so for instance, if you're like sitting and, writing poetry or an article or something like that, something that you don't quite know, whatever given example, you're working on something, a project, music, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be in the creative space, but for me, those are examples that come to mind. You're technically still investing in that direction, right? So if I'm working on, whatever, and I'm literally not paying dollars and cents, but I'm paying with my time on the potential profit. So with that in mind, the understanding of, okay, well, what's my ranking system? if we're talking just kind of generating income, at the top would be what are tried and true means of generating income. What do I know is, variable V, capital V for value, or P for profit, or I for income. And then what's potential, down the line, if I keep on investing and I get a return on this investment, with the investment being your time, that would kind of be second, on the scale, of what you would want to spend your time on. And obviously that's a adjustable compromise, something that could be for the sake of last on that hierarchy would be paying value. Um, if I'm just sitting around watching a podcast, yeah, there are some intrinsic things that you get back from that. It could be insight, learn inspiration, learning something new, which then could uprank to the potential value category. And so, like, one second, guys. I'm just
Sound is for habit is to.
For lack of. Okay, so, so yeah, it's almost as if like we have the downtime, the throwaway time, right? And I could get to some tarot in a second. Interestingly enough, thematically, and I want to merge both worlds, all this kind of I don't know if you want to call it, calculated talk. Um, but the Knight of Pentacles, I mean, as far as the spiritual end. So let's just finish the thought of like, so uprank, right? Your downtime can be upranked to potential value, and potential value can be upranked to a stabilized stream of income, right? Something tried and true. Like for instance, for me, my downtime, I'll give you a perfect example. In my world, my downtime was watching tarot readings. Well, that lend itself to learning something, and thus forth that, uh, you know, paying value, right? I'm paying value. Let me just give you something that I actually wrote down. PV paying value gets upranked to potential value, because me paying value to the tarot video means I get a new insight or an idea, right here, insight, idea, whatever. It's kind of scrawled there. You can't even read it, but I learned something, and now it becomes potential. And again, this is all just, this is a new idea, but this is a new idea. This isn't a new idea, but just for the sake of what we're getting at and what we're speaking to. How this could naturally be done in rhythm and in harmony with yourself. And thus forth, theoretically, anyone could do that if they just follow where their curiosity is, where their bottom line is. So paying value to something passive that you can learn on YouTube, for me it was tarot, turns into potential value. So you're paying with your attention. Your attention is equivalent to, dollars and cents in the arena of space and time. Focus attention. Focus meaning you're going to get something back from it. So this paying value of that, hence intrinsic value, gets up kicked to potential value, which then can be stabilized to value, profit, or income. Okay? Okay, so yeah, it's almost as if we have. I'm just doing TikTok videos, right? And for anyone that's watching on the YouTube. Feel free to write a question or what have you.
Have people given a
So before I continue, I just want to make sure that this is all good. What? One second, guys. Before I continue, just want to get on board with the TikTok. I was making TikTok videos as I was doing this.
your younger self is
Okay, guys. So just an interesting thought. How you could passively, whatever you're interested in, whatever you find the blueprint is your paying value to, let's say, something that you're learning turns into potential value, meaning you can monetize it and then structure it and stabilize it. My example was, for me, something as easy as, well, maybe not easy, but it's a system that you can learn off of YouTube, tarot. So your paying value to the YouTube video turns into potential value, meaning I'm learning a skill that I could then monetize and profit from, and then that becomes stabilized value. So, you just want to look at what you're doing. Like for me, a big sinkhole is like dating apps. I'll be honest, I'll put myself out there, or like podcasts. You're paying, you have to start to look at where you're spending your time as like each second is a penny, equivalent, let's just say. So if I'm sitting watching a comedy podcast, like, should I not budget that into an expense? Granted, there's downtime, that you don't want to nickel and dime yourself, but just something to think about, because I think nowadays it's very easy, especially with the algorithm. Like, you could argue that with like dating apps, like I'll put my stuff that out there on Front Street, like, you're paying a service that might not even be working, or you're paying for a television so that you could continue to pay attention. And with the YouTube videos, like each second, like that's being monetized. You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to break it down for my own content. Like, you know, how much is a like? How much is a subscribe? How much is a view? How much is a 10-minute video? You could even budget if you're working for yourself first and foremost. How much will you pay yourself for like a 10-minute video? Like, I broke it down like $4 or something. Something, just based off of whatever my schematics are. Um, so just interesting food for thought. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was like body rhythms and biorhythms and stuff. And I'm not working the 9 to 5 anymore. So I'm able to wake up on my own time. I'm doing tarot, I'm doing side deliveries. Um, but it's a lot of it is how you're looking at it, right? So if you're still in the 9 to 5 hustle and you're finding yourself miserable, it's because your time schedule, your time scale is not acclimated to your work schedule. Obviously, plain and simple, right? That's an obvious statement. Okay, guys. So just an interesting thought. How you could passively, whatever you're interested in, whatever you find yourself in.
You're younger.
So, for me, I did like 10 years where I was just like chomping at the bit of going to sleep super late, getting shit quality sleep, probably being hungover, and then expected to kind of work an 8 hour day. And I was miserable like that for like 10 plus years, working a 9 to 5 desk job, finance. Um, in hindsight, all I had to do was push my expectancy, push my time schedule back to where I could wake up, chill, have some coffee, go about my normal biorhythms. But in hindsight, what I was doing was I was not making enough time for me to do that comfortably. So, again, it might sound like a simple idea, but when you're just banging your head up against a wall and you're just stuck in that mindset feedback loop of I'm miserable, I hate this, I hate this. Well, look at why you hate it, why you're miserable. So likewise, what I'm finding is, so I do like deliveries and I do tarot content and I read for 2 tarot websites and whatever. So you got to go where the value's at, right? And then if there's no value actively, like say it's a slow day, then I got to kick back down to where's my potential value at. And then if all that potential value is worked on to my liking, right? Because sometimes it's a creative process. Sometimes you don't feel like writing. Sometimes you're not always going to force yourself to write, although there are schools of thought that say that you should do that. But what I'm arguing is that if you are going to force yourself to do something, maybe let's pull back a little bit on force, right? Let's maybe I'm feeling creative this day more so, this time more so, right? And maybe I could get more quality if I go about that way. And so likewise, I'm feeling and thinking, okay, well, I got to wake up, I got to make a certain quota, I got to make a certain number for the day, right? Money wise. Um, you know, and say I have to do deliveries. Let me not think that way. I do deliveries on my electric scooter. I don't know if you can see it in the background. And then there's a bag over there. Let me not think of it in that way. Let me wait until my body wants to naturally get up. You're gonna want to use the bathroom. You're gonna want to shower. You know what I'm saying? So use that momentum that your body is setting, as opposed to forcibly doing that. I think you're going to get a lot better return and reward. Um, for me, I did like 10 years where I was just like chomping at the bit of going to sleep super late, getting shit quality sleep, probably being hungover. So the YouTube feed, you guys are getting it direct. The only thing that, you know, You just gotta wait until I post. Um, and I think that the universal problem, I think, is that, well, if you're in a 9 to 5, I would just say push your schedule back so that you can wake up, enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, maybe have coffee, breakfast, and some people do that, But I'm talking to those more so irrational, spirits like myself and like how I was even more so, especially when I was drinking. I'm sober now, but um, and so in telling you guys this, I'm telling myself this as well because that training of chomping at the bit, meaning I got to wake up, I have to do this, and you're in the logical realm as opposed to following and listening to what your body wants and what your body needs. Why is that? So to me, that's a learned behavior. Um, what have you? So I'm just finding that I'm more creative, productive, and fruitful if I don't wake up and with the mindset and telling myself I need to do this, but rather let me start at the bottom. Let me pay value, so to speak. When I woke up today, I was just chilling, watching a little bit of a podcast, having my coffee, whatever your morning, or, quote unquote morning. For me, it's nighttime out, but in my internal body clock, it's morning because my schedule is flipped. Um, but it's downtime, / pain value, right? Almost to enter the arena of personhood every day. But then inevitably you're going to have movement momentum, meaning bodily functions, wanting to shower, wanting to pick up around the place, and then use that momentum to make yourself available to do deliveries, so to speak, or whatever you have to do to get up and get out. In my example, I wasn't of that mindset, and I've been doing this for a year. So, just kind of sharing insight to you as I get it. And when you're in the lifestyle, it's not as easy to kind of think of things in that way. And so the real power of potential, if you want to say it dramatically like that, is in the realization that I don't have to worry anymore because I've outsourced that to my own rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm co-creating with source as opposed to chronos, man-made time, which is, fallible from what history has proven. And I think that the universal problem, I think, is that, well, if you're in a 9 to 5, I would just say push your schedule back so that you can wake up. I don't even know if these videos are working on TikTok, but at least we have them on the YouTube. I don't even know how many drafts I have on the TikTok. I think I'm just inundating TikTok at this point. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm just simulcasting. trying to see what my best fit is on TikTok.
Golf is looking into your right.
With the zero.
It's less expensive. In American too.
Cringy model.
What's up, guys?
Cringy model. Milk. Clockwork orange. And the lock.
What's up, guys? I'm live streaming, simulcasting on the YouTube, so go check out the YouTube Run and Gun Tarot. Just wanted to do a quick TikTok video. I've been sleeping and slipping on the content lately. Okay, so I guess we're just burning TikTok because I don't know, all those videos were not working. Thanks for being so patient, but at least we all have it on the YouTube live stream. But let's talk about, so we're talking about body rhythms and just kind of moving with the force of nature and reality and consciousness. And, you know, all of that can be applied, obviously, to all the aspects of life, essentially, is outsourcing the worry. To rhythm, you know. Knight of Pentacles here refers to that lack of forward movement and development. Okay. Probably often insinuated by a lack of goal or purpose or structure. Something of that nature. Scratching my eye off camera. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, you know, making content and what have you, like essentially it's money in the bank if you really look at it, you know. Anything else, Spirit, that we want to talk to or about? And then again, you know, it's almost like a reset. Like when you are done with the potential value and there is no active means of generating pure value income, for me, doing a tarot read or doing a delivery, then you could, you know, hang out in that realm of potential value. You know, live streaming a video or, but then ultimately, again, at the very bottom of that chart that I was showing you is paid value. What are you paying value to? At least in the paying value realm of making a video, there's still potential value. You know, potential because if I monetize the video, if I achieve the goal of monetization, then I get to do revenue or income. Now, identifying, you know, where am I losing value? Where am I paying value that is not helpful to the purpose of potentializing it or making it a pure value income. For me right now, the example of I was just fidgeting with TikTok, and it turns out that that was not a good means or a source of, you know, doing this, that, and the third. Because to my understanding, all those videos didn't get uploaded, although they might be. It looks like they might be. In any event, the momentum going with the YouTube video. So let's see, is there anything else that we want to talk about? The only other thing that I wanted to talk about was just some of the ideas that I had yesterday, which was I'm thinking about paying content creators, paying tarot readers to be guest features on my channel. So if anyone's interested in doing that, feel free to reach out. Just something that I had in mind. The work card is in the reverse, working smarter instead of harder. So outsourcing content creators is another kind of good investment. You're paying value. Again, that's another example. Let's look at our chart. Paying value at the bottom for potential value. The potential value of a content creator, or even if you're doing it yourself or outsourcing the work, is the likes, the views, the subscribers, because then that leads to the end goal of monetization of your channel. And then that's your value. And so after whatever your investment is, that's your profit, that's your value. And then of course, you don't want to run the risk of burnout or things getting old and stagnant. So you try to move to the next level, which is typically becoming a teacher, typically becoming someone that can teach someone how to do what you did. And so in a weird way, the fact that there's a pyramid behind the dollar bill, to me, speaks to the age-old kind of methodology of generating value and resource and income, fruit, worth the bear, which is, the pyramid structure, the Ponzi scheme, the pyramid scheme, so to speak, but obviously in an ethical, legal way. Some models would want it, some structures would want it to be so that instead of a pyramid, there's a flat line and everybody gets equal distribution. I guess that would be communism or socialism. On the merit of every piece is just as important as the next, right? The top of the pyramid is just as important as the foundation. But that could also intellectually be argued as not so. Maybe the top of the pyramid has garnered more experience and wisdom, and maybe that experience and wisdom is more valuable. Maybe in the sphere, the realm of time, remember we spoke to the realm of space, time plus focused attention equals value or worth. And is what you pay for potential value for, because talk about a time machine, that's what money is. Money is a fluid, money is a time machine. Money is a technology. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Think about money being a technology or a time machine, because what do we pay for with money? We pay for convenience. They say time is money. So the thought is a technology. You know what I'm saying? So, you talk to people that have money and they say that the biggest thing that you pay for with money is the the time savers, the conveniences, the luxuries, first class, fast pass. It less so becomes about the steak, and then even then, in turn, you still pay with your patients for the quality of the steak. So it's just an interesting roundabout ways that you're never really going to ever, I mean, I say these words lightly, but escape the realm of quality requiring time. And even if you pay, I mean, unless it's a prepackaged product, PPP, for someone to cook a damn delicious steak, granted it's kind of systemized, it's down to an expert, to a science, to an art, you're still paying with that patience, So, and metaphorically in life, don't assume that you're not working towards something bigger, something worth waiting for, so to speak. So, another idea is, segueing, funneling, say my TikTok, for example. I'm funneling my TikTok to YouTube, ideally. YouTube is an easier means of just recording and uploading something. And so I'm funneling it to YouTube as opposed to TikTok. And then essentially if I could have other content creators, then now I'm outsourcing. So funneling, outsourcing. These are some ideas that you want to keep in mind. And then automating. Because the goal is always passivity for a system to work on its own. Right? And you can do something else. That's the American spirit. That's the American dream. That's why we leave our families for the West Coast. It's like the family system doesn't require me. Let me move on and do my own thing, so to speak. So, 1 second, I'm just plugging in my charger. Again, focus. In the arena of time and space, focus attention is potential value. And then that potential value becomes stabilized value. And then hopefully you could outsource that mechanization of how to generate that value and automate so that you don't have to worry about it. I mean, that's essentially the nuts and the bolts of financial freedom. Right, which is a goal. Just thinking on the fly here, talking on the fly here. Let's see. So yeah, working on financial freedom, financial independence. At times you'll feel that your actions are neutral, but if you feel that your actions are neutral, then that's when you want to give a revisit to where you're fundamentally paying your first currency, which is your time focus, your focused attention within the arena of time and space. Lack of communication. Okay, this can be interpreted in different aspects of your life. in the context of, let's just use my life example, like if I'm not watering my social media, you know, to me, the devil card, if we're looking through the lens of like business finance, this is where you're stuck out of your own free will. Okay. And you're not getting any intrinsic value back. I think intrinsic value leads to growth, or potential value, which leads to real value or realized value, which is freedom of outsource and then automation, which is freedom, right? I think that's like man's spirit, right? If economy meets metaphysics, right? And so here, if we're looking at this through the economical, these people are paying with their, time, right? Their time and they don't have the ability to focus attention here. And so the potential is just lost. If we're looking at things through economics, money, dollars, cents, crypto. They're bounded. Now, the caveat with this is obviously these people can free themselves. They do have free will, but they're choosing to bind themselves. All right, let me take this call really quick, guys. You could feel free to stay a fly on the wall and listen on in. 1 second. It's a tarot reading. Hi, this is Dylan. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to shuffle a couple times and then I'm going to let you know what I see. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Well, I don't see finality, which is good. I don't see just complete endings. I do see a walking away emotionally with the Eight of Cups. Interestingly enough, this kind of, these signs and symbols that we're looking at, I'm using the tarot. So this figure is walking away, but then after that is the Six of Cups. So it's almost as if there's a person on the Eight of Cups walking, which I think represents walking back to like friendship, a more innocent time. I think it's like hitting the restart button on the relationship. I think that that's what these energies are telling you, in the context of your situation. I don't think that this is over and done with, to be honest. I just feel as though that you guys need to get back to brass tacks and, what your value systems are and what are you growing and what are you paying for, with your time and attention. Because, in a way that's what a relationship is. So to answer your question, no, I don't see this over and done with. I don't. I just feel as though that you guys need to get back to more of that kind of friendship level. And we could, break that down further, because you can't have this kind of, innocent friendship, so to speak, which is one aspect of relationship, without trust. So you want to start to look at those kind of, I don't know if you want to call them virtues, but those kind of cornerstones. Is the trust there? Is the respect there? Things like that. Let me see if anything else wants to come out here. I do see multiple masculine energies. So I don't know. It could be that you maybe have, I don't want to presume that there is another person that you're speaking with or interested in. Likewise for the person that you just recently broke up with. But typically, if I see two masculine energies here, both the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands, the first assumption is that there's two male suitors involved. So, I mean, that's for you to know. But let me see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, not to try to oversimplify it, but I mean, just it's kind of like economics. Like you're literally paying two different people with your attention. So, it's just how you want to go about that. Do you want to walk away from a certain investment, so to speak? If you could look at these gentlemen as, you know, and I'm not just saying that in regards to just money. I mean, obviously there's emotional investment as well. Um, but, I would chalk it up to who really kind of brings out the best in you, hopefully. Okay, so that was that. She's talking about relationship, and I was on the bug of thinking of things through the context of like simple economics. Who brings out the best in you in your relationship with them? You know what I'm saying? Whereas before, my example was being with somebody that brought out the worst in me. And not for nothing, but our biorhythms weren't in sync. And her biorhythm was affected more so heavily by her relationship with structure and work ethic. And you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. I had left 10 plus years of a lifestyle doing that and working for a 9 to 5. So, I was of the mind that, well, now I am in hindsight, talking about me and my ex living together. You know, that is kind of, it's like water and oil, right? It's like working with a toxic coworker or bad employees in a company. Like, you guys have to match on that kind of level of your approach. So, sometimes we get lost in the idea based on the emotional investment, as opposed to like the brass tacks, the nuts and bolts of, hey, is this thing working or is it not working? So when you're steady trying to kind of make the ship float, as opposed to seeing that, oh, it's a dud, You could cut your loss. You could think of things more logically, intrinsically as well. Does this person bring out the best in me? It does make me look at this devil card and in the form of economics. All right, okay, I'm getting another call here, so feel free to stay on the wall, stay on the line. Hi, this is Dylan. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, we're trying to kind of understand, the relationship aspect as far as like, well, if I have two people that I'm looking at, like what's going to be my best, what's going to be best for me? And ideally, it's, who do you harmonize with? Who brings out the best in you? Um, that's informed by what are their priorities, what are their values, and also what are you looking for? Are you looking for something long term? Are you looking for something, just for the time being? So those are things to kind of consider, if you are in fact in a position between two people and trying to find out who to pick or who to go with. Um, you know, s- yeah, yeah. And that's, subject for interpretation. I mean, that's your personal interpretation. Um, I think, I think let me take a look. Let me see. Let me see what the cards say. Um, have you ever asked him? Yeah. Let me take a look at the energies. So, I mean, I feel what's coming across is more so like physicality, action. I'm not getting that this person is necessarily in his feelings about this connection. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of like, practically speaking, like, how would you feel about someone that you just argued with? Probably not too kindly. And then in the other regard, it's kind of like, well, the cards are saying that this person is more so action oriented. Um, if we're giving him like a sweet deal or like a sweet interpretation, I could say that the Six of Cups is out here. That points more so to like this nature of like friendship, and I think he probably considers you, a friend. I mean, you might be surprised, but I feel as though that there are men out there that really value the connection with the woman that they're with, and they categorize them as a close friend. Especially men that don't have just like a bunch of outlets for different friendships. Um, so in a way, I feel as though he wants to act. I think his instincts are to want to act, to make something right, act on something. Um, but on the same end, I do feel as though that there's a lot of confusion here, because the Seven of Cups in the reverse speaks to confusion, lack of clarity, and oftentimes that's because of emotions. If you're riled up, if you're angry, so there could be anger here as well, frustration. Uh, I'm sensing that, yeah, he might have frustration towards you. Um, as indicated by this, the Ace of Wand is like a fiery symbol. So I think, yeah, there's a bit of a frustration. I mean, and let's be honest, what's the context of the argument? Are you demanding something of him? Is he demanding something of you? Is anyone accusing someone of something? Oftentimes, the nature, of the argument is going to inform how that person feels about you. And you guys are physically intimate in that time, that 4 to 5 months of getting to know each other. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple things there because it's like, I mean, we could look at the cards. Are you assuming that he's like being with someone, like physically, all that stuff? Okay. Okay. So it's just coming across as he's trying to, be with two people at once, basically. Um, yeah. And you want to ask the cards if that's true? Okay. Let me see. I mean, before we get cut off, to me, I think it is true. Just intuitively, what I see here, because for the Ace of Wands to come out here, like I said, that's more physical based. So I just feel as though, and if he's getting angry about it, then, he's doing the same thing that you're doing, which is you're just spending time with multiple people. So it's like, can you really be mad if you both are doing the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Right, but moving forward can be done naturally, or it could be moving things forward. Forward, patience, time clock, trust. So yeah, this lady's talking about. I mean, we're talking about biorhythms and like the example of my ex. Like, you know, if she's on this kind of rhythm of more so wanting to drive forward a relationship, then she's going to have different wants and demands. Um, she's going to want she's going to want something, the driving force and factor in her, because she's being ruled by the mind. To me, when someone's like, this isn't going anywhere, this isn't moving, it's because they don't have something in their own life going on. Another interpretation of, my ex had things going on in her life, but she wasn't secure enough. That's where the trust comes in, to trust the connection. And it could be that the person that she was with was untrustworthy, or she could just be not secure enough. Which comes from within. I mean, you could be insecure, but at least have an outlet for security, right? Or you could just be insecure and not be open to reassurance. You know what I'm saying? For me, if someone's like clock watching, right? She's not comfortable, not secure, not enjoying. So she's in it for the wrong reason. That's what it's coming across as. If you're clock watching and you're not enjoying and you're in a situation where you're wanting to get out of something, then it means that you shouldn't have been in there in the first place. You were in it for the wrong reason. You were probably in it theoretically for what you could get out of it, as opposed to what it was in and of itself. For me, when I was with my ex, I enjoyed it in and of itself. And I could have continued to enjoy it. But she was more like, okay, now what? Like, what's next? What's the next thing? And if one person is still enjoying, right? The second person is moving on. It just means that time doesn't match. Time doesn't match. That's all it means. So hence why you want to spend time first with person you're with, to see if, hey, look, do we actually enjoy each other outside of sex and love and TV shows or what have you. So to me, that's just kind of the game, I think. Very interesting, I think. Very interesting when we look at things in that way. Because you think and you talk about a lot of relationship problems nowadays. And a lot of it, I think, is informed by the fact that the woman might want something. And the fact that she wants something means that she's not present, which is a problem, because then that person gets in their own way. I think a relationship has its own natural unfolding. I think it has its own natural course of, you just want to make sure that you're on the same time frame as somebody else, right? And so I always advise, like, before, and especially after experiencing it myself firsthand, before you invest emotionally, because the emotional investment is like, it's the kind of contract that keeps you coming back for more. So if you're going to lead and jump right into the emotion, then um, then you're making a bond or a contract with something you don't know about yet. It's like you're buying a company and you don't even know what it's about yet. You're investing in a company and you don't even know what it's about yet. So it's worth taking the time and the due diligence to learn about the company first and foremost. I'm trying to think anything else that we could speak to. I might put this on pause and go get some food. So yeah. All right, I might jump on in a bit. All right, I'm gonna go get some food. I'll be back.